Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
can I introduce these photos to you now?
Sure, that'd be great.
And I'll give one to, just because we didn't give you one the last time, I thought,
That'd be great.
and this is, before you all do this, find it,
Good, how are you doing?
where Mr. Crow.
How are you doing? Go ahead and put one here. I bet Miss Lindsay comes.
Mm-hmm. Whoa.
You what, Carl?
Hello, Mr. Sweeney. Hello. And an aerial.
Thank you for coming, Ben.
It's,
Appreciate it.
these are all those showing Mrs. Vince. I'll just show you this one today. And I have this one. It's just an aerial.
Yeah, no, I think you
You
got it
okay?
in there, no, yeah, I'm fine.
Can I have one? Let me see it.
Sure, it'd be nice. This is the aerial. And this is here. This. You need those part of the record, buddy. Appreciate it.
Here is my kind of stuff.
Well, that's six, so why you need four?
You need four,
Yes,
counting myself.
yes.
Okay.
We can double check that with Maria, but I'm.
Oh, yeah, I will. Come on, Maria, let's get this show on. We'll wait for Maria. I don't know where she disappeared to.
Could have had important business.
Hmm?
Important, something important.
It must be very important.
It's,
Probably went to church there for funeral,
It'll
maybe.
be one of the best you should try to call.
Jean won't be coming in.
took it to him. I took it to his office.
Yeah.
All right, I'm calling this meeting to order at approximately 4:10 by my clock and 4:14 by the city clock. Maria, would you take roll call, please?
Mac Pro,
Present?
Joe Coca,
Present.
Diane Lindsay, Mike Sweeney,
Here?
Manny Barella,
Here.
Eugene Romero. And I did get an email about 3 o'clock from Gene that he wasn't gonna be able to make it.
Okay, thank you.
I just talked to Diane and she's on her way, so
She's on her way.
I hope. She said she's gonna try to make it.
Okay. Whether they come or not, we have enough for a quorum, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so we're gonna go on. If y'all stand, please, say the Pledge of Allegiance with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay. I would like, everybody has seen the agenda. I need a motion approving the agenda.
I'll move that we approve the agenda as
Good.
stated then.
Thank you, sir. The motion has been made by Mike Sweeney to approve the agenda. Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
And there is a second. Mr. Copa. All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? The motion passes unanimously. The next thing on the agenda is the approval of the minutes of July 26, 2021. First of all, I want to compliment Maria on those minutes. They are the best minutes I think I've ever seen. Maria.
Thank you.
And I've seen a lot of minutes.
I tried.
Well, you did a good job, Maria.
Thank you.
Are there any corrections of note that y'all have? I have some.
Okay.
I gotta find them. Okay, on page 4 of 13,
Okay.
in the last paragraph, about midway, it says, "She stated that recently Mrs. Raines verbally attacked on," it should be one, with the E on it, Maria.
Okay.
Okay? And then, on page 6 of 13, on the third paragraph from the bottom, the very last sentence, it says, "Mr. Manny Burrell asked Mrs. Rain." It's not Rain, it's Rains.
They were so long, I
Well, I understand, but you're gonna really get a kick out of my next one.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. On page 8 of 13, the third paragraph from the top, the last sentence, Mrs. Pereira stated that this was a MS. What's MS?
That's not supposed to be.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right, we're still going, Maria.
Oh, that's okay. I don't mind.
I'm just nervous. And then, on page, well, dang it, I'm gonna find it. Oh, on page 10 of 13, the last paragraph, second sentence of the Yeah, second sentence. Just as you misspelled Ms. Rain's name, you said Chairman Crown. And I haven't been crowned yet.
I want to do that before I leave.
What page is that?
That's on page 10 of 13. The second paragraph, second sentence, says
And I can
Chairman
read this,
Crown.
but it-
All right. That's a good one. Wow.
All right, those are the corrections I saw. Has anyone else seen others besides mine? None? Is there a motion to approve the minutes as corrected?
I make a motion that we approve the minutes as read
As corrected.
with the corrections.
Very well. Is there a second to that?
I'll second that.
All right, there is a second by Mike Swinney. Motion by Manny Barella. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Motion passes. Okay, now, we now go to item number 6, old business. Anyone who is going to testify in this matter, if you'll come forward, raise your right hand and swear with me, or just stand by your desk. Alex? Okay. Do you promise, do you solemnly swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Very well. Thank you. All right. Now we go straight into the old business. Board of Adjustment, approval or disapproval of an application for a variance on the front setback requirements to construct a carport in the front yard to protect vehicles in inclement weather. The application was submitted by Gail J. Raines, property owner, and it was tabled at our last meeting. Okay.
Sorry, everyone. Apologize.
Hi. We're gonna dock your pay 30 minutes.
Hey, all right.
He said, "Well, we're from Chico."
You come in from Anton Chico, so you were speeding,
I was
huh?
supposed to be there, but I wasn't. So that's lucky, isn't it?
Now, I'm just gonna kind of recap a little bit here. Well, actually, before on page 3 of 13, Mr. Eugene Romero asked, when the carport was built, did you have a permit for that? If you are here today saying that you want to add to it, and it does not meet setbacks, how was that one done without meeting setbacks? Ms. Raines responded that at the time, she did not know she needed one as it was off her property. When she called someone, she thought she had to go through the state. The state asked if she was building something new. She stated no, that she was extending from her house. She recently spoke with Mr. Ben Mays. He helped with the paperwork, and he stated that they could cover the permit once they go to this meeting. And they could do a permit to cover everything. Mr. Eugene Romero asked if the permit would cover the new project. Mrs. Raines responded that Ben told her it would cover everything. Ms. Raines, do you have anything to add to that?
No,
Okay. Is that an accurate representation?
yes.
Thank you.
And there where you said that I contacted somebody, I spoke to, it's the state construction,
Construction Industries Division.
yes, at the state of New Mexico. And the engineer or whoever that, I think it's an engineer that I spoke to there, is the one that told me that if it was built off of my home, that I was okay.
That you were okay. Can everybody hear Ms. Raines? Huh?
Yes.
Yes? Can y'all? Okay. I guess I'm the only one hard of hearing around here. Does this microphone work, Maria?
They're all working.
Pardon?
They're all working.
Okay,
Yeah, he
So-
came and turned them all on.
okay, perfect. Thank you.
They're all on.
Okay, Ben, thank you, Maria, for the graphic demonstration. Ben, do you have anything you'd like to add to that right now?
Yes, I did contact Ms. Raines, but I knew that the structure needed to get permitted, and if she wanted it where she wants to put it, the only remedy that she might have is to make application and see maybe if variance would be permitted and allowed, because the structure was already built. And so I did send her a letter initially and give her a timeline of what had proceeded. And so in her application for variance, a lot of times citizens don't know that they were encroaching into a setback or they're doing anything wrong, because they're staying within their property. So, as a code enforcement official, I saw that there was some violations, so I brought them to her attention, and so the state of New Mexico was advised of construction at 17 Coronado, building without a permit, and a stop work order was issued by the state.
And when was
But
that?
she didn't know that.
When was that stop work order?
She was stopped on, in April.
In April, okay.
In July of last year, I wasn't here, I came in October, but our records do indicate that she sent in an application for construction for along with 4 attachments, but
She requested an
she
application.
requested an application, but no permit was ever issued, so she never brought the paperwork, but we did hand her documents. April 12th of 2021, she requested a permit to construct a concrete slab. So we did, our office did receive a sketch of the slab. Our office was waiting the permit app to come in. She did make the request for a permit for a concrete slab, which we do driveway permits. She never came in, I think, for that. And on Wednesday following that Monday, which would have been the 14th of that same week, I was making my rounds around town and noticed a carport was being erected at 717 Coronado. Illegal construction was reported to Construction Industries Division, and the stop work order was issued on April 22nd by the state New Mexico construction inspector. I did, for my initial view of the placement of the carport, if you see the pictures I showed you there with the carport, you'll see that, do you have the picture that I just got in? If you notice, on the left side of the carport, it's extending pretty close to the sidewalk, the white pro panel.
Where the shadow is.
Yes, and I told Mrs. Raines, I said, Ms. Raines, when you're backing up out of that carport, code requires that the fence has to be only 4 feet high there if it's a fence, because you have to look down the street, so make sure we don't hit anybody coming down the sidewalk.
Right.
So that's a line of sight requirement that we have for the city of Las Vegas. She did remove some panel, and she has moved it back, and there is line of sight now to the east sidewalk coming in, because I did mention to her on here that a zoning plan review needs to be conducted. And I said that per my initial view of the placement of the carpeting is shielding the pedestrian sidewalk. The line of sight is in violation of that. It's an unsafe condition. The city of Las Vegas setback rules protect the public from not being seen when vehicles are pulling out of driveways. She did sign my certified letter. I sent her this certified, and Ms. Rain did sign it, and we did receive it back. Our office signs off on permits sent to the state of New Mexico for permit. What we're doing now in the city of Las Vegas is we don't issue the actual construction permits anymore. What we do is we sign off on the planning and zoning section of the app and on the floodplain. So we do two reviews. And so we want to make sure that if Santa Fe issues a permit to Mrs. Raines or to any citizen of New Mexico or that lives in Las Vegas, that they will not issue the permit until we have signed off that zoning is okay, planning is okay, and floodplain is okay. Once they see our signature, Maria sends that information to Santa Fe and they issue the permit. But they don't do it without our signatures. And as Ms. Raines had noted, when she called Santa Fe, they gave her information, but the thing is that sometimes they don't know that they need our approvals
Right.
yet.
Let me ask you a question. Those panels, are they 4-foot panels wide?
No, those are 3 foot or
They're
36.
3 foot?
Yeah, so
So she
they're,
removed 2 panels,
she,
which gave an extra 6 foot
To
to
look-
see.
to look down,
Is that right, sir?
to look down.
Yeah, to look down
She
at
did.
the
She opened it
sidewalk
up.
and the road.
She opened it up a little more.
Okay.
But our code requires that it's 15 feet back,
15 feet.
only because that's where the setback line starts. So where the setback line starts, that's where the shielding, that's where 4 foot, you could go 4 feet, and then at 15, you can go 6.
No. Oh,
Right?
not for a fence,
No, for the driveway,
for the shielding, okay.
yeah, for the shielding. So it's more of a line of sight thing.
Okay.
And so she did open it up, made it better. What I helped her with is, she then began to submit drawings to us to see if she could get this passed and through the variance process. She hasn't done any work since she received the stop work order, and I appreciate that. She did, for safety reasons, open it up about 6 feet. We still need to go back a little bit more.
Okay.
And that's only so that if we don't do that, she needs all the view that she can, the minimum.
Right.
We don't ask for the maximum, we ask for the minimum. And the minimum is 15 feet line of sight.
Line of sight.
So, and that's only what we have
Okay,
in our books.
okay.
That section of the carport was already built when I approached. But I did mention to Mrs. Raines that that a permit was required because she had started the second phase of her project. I wasn't here when she did her first phase, but at the same time, the violation still existed.
Okay.
So she did stop, she hasn't done any more construction, appreciate that. And she is asking to extend further than the 15-foot setback allows.
Okay, thank you, Ben. Thank you for your patience, Ms. Raines.
I just wanted to say that I know how he's talking about the certain feet. The carport posts are not all the way to where the sidewalk starts. So it's not, you know what I mean? I'm not, I know, like, you may think that it's right at the edge of the sidewalk, but it's not.
No, it's not.
So there's still some, I'm not sure if it's a couple of feet
It's-
back.
I think it's 3.
Yeah, because I just wanted to make you aware that if the poles aren't right at the start of the sidewalk, there is some give to
Pictures
the back.
again.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Good as a picture.
And then,
Sir,
I'm sorry, excuse me, sir, I didn't see you. Yes, sir.
first of all, she knew about, when they were building that, putting up the panels and the posts, I told them, have you gone to the code that the city requires? I told them that. She should have known that. And
Could I ask you to come up to the microphone, because all joking aside, I have a hard time of hearing.
okay,
And what is your name, sir?
Joseph Torres,
Joseph Torres.
push the mic.
It's right there, so you can go ahead and talk.
Okay.
It's that black box right there.
This here?
Go ahead and sit down if you like.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like I said, I told the boys when they were building that porch, if they had followed the code, and they should. So if the boys didn't tell her, I'm sure she knew about it, they continued doing it. And I don't disagree that you should give her any more feet than the 15. And it's against the code. And that's going to affect, with the panels and all that, going to affect the property value of the whole block. We have followed. I even built a porch. I kept it to the code. And why she did it? Well, they're using it to weld. It's not a carport, it's a porch. They're using it for business. And I don't disagree with the business that they're doing, as long as they keep the noise down. And I think we should, all of us, follow the code, otherwise there's going to be people building against the code. The city adopted those codes for all of us to follow. So I disagree with that.
All right.
Leave it at 15.
All right, thank you, sir. Okay.
Mr. Crowe,
Yes, sir.
can I speak from here? Do you want me to go over there?
Oh, you can speak from there.
Yes, the post, Mrs. Raines is correct. The post is like about 3 feet back from the property line. See, the term that we have to use is property lines. So we're working from property lines. We have setback rules. We have, and I'm also a building inspector, except I'm not practicing it here in Las Vegas because we are missing electrical, plumbing, mechanical. But when she makes application to the state, where she set that line, there's rules for distances from a property line with accessory buildings. So we need to make sure that when we approve this application, that we approve what's being submitted. Mrs. Raines got stopped on the second part of it. You see the posts over here? Where they're coming up? On this side. That's where she began the second phase, because I think this first phase was already built.
No, that was recent.
Right, Maria? Was it recent? So because when I came, this was being, these posts were being erected, and that's where the red tag was placed by the state.
The post on the right-hand side.
Yes, sir. When that was starting to get erected, that's when we issued the state issued the stop work order. So there's a couple of things happening, and so there are some encroachments into the setbacks, and when she makes submittal to the state for a building permit, I've issued permits all over the state, and these type of metal buildings, like I had stated in the letter that I sent her, it's no big deal. She already knows what I wrote on it, but they're going to require that, because it's made out of steel and metal, they're going to want stamped drawings. So even though the whatever's being erected here, whatever she submits to Santa Fe has to meet code, building code. The encroachment, the packet, did you have any questions on the exhibit? What's this exhibit, Maria? Do I call it an exhibit?
That's the packet from the last time, would be Exhibit 3,
Exhibit 3.
the second page.
This red-lined document was one that I sent back to Mrs. Raines because she was working on submitting her site plan for the variance. And if you read all of my red writing on there, those are the numbers that we needed. And so she's here on the circle. I asked for that distance to the back of sidewalk on that circle, because if we do measure from that post shown on this drawing, on this photo, it would be 3 feet. So if you turn and look at the next, but if you look at that same page, I measured to the post, and she's at 21 feet 6 inches to that post. The slope of the roof is dropping all the water and snow on the sidewalk. So we can't have that. And so the thing is that it's so close to it that it'll, you know, we get a lot of snow. So we want to make sure that that is addressed. So,
Real quick, I have the gutters for that, but we can't put them up until we're able to finish. The gutters are in the backyard. I have them for them, and they're the industrial ones that will take care of any drip or any snowfall on that sidewalk.
yeah, and I'm addressing the encroachment, and the encroachment is 6 feet 6 inches into the setback. So she did come out to 15, but then she went a little bit further. So that post that you see there is 6 feet 6 inches closer than it should be. So for her to achieve the 15-foot rule, she'd have to move the whole structure back 6'6". And then, I don't know what Santa Fe or the building code will require on the lot line that abuts her neighbor. That's another issue she'll have to address, because we don't enforce the building code here at the city of Las Vegas.
Yes, ma'am.
My neighbor, the one he is talking about, is Benny Romero, and Mr. Romero has no problem at all. He told me that if anyone should have a problem with any encroachment, it would be him, because it's bordering his property. And he said, I can give you his phone number if anyone wants to call him. He doesn't have any issues at all.
Okay, let's let Ben go ahead, and then I'll call back on you.
On the lot line between Mr. Romero and Mrs. Raines' property, that's a separation distance that's in the building code. I mean, he can allow it, she can build it, it's in her property, but if the state allows her to to build it there, there's certain rules when you have something off the lot line. And a lot of times it's a 1 hour separation,
1 hour?
1 hour. 1 hour fire rating.
Question, Benny Romero, you're talking about on the east side?
The neighbor, yeah, on the east side, right? So it doesn't mean that she can't achieve the 1 hour separation, she can do that. So when, whatever she does at that lot line, you know, she'd have to comply with, lot line requirements.
Regardless of whether he approves or not.
She can build it, as long as she's on her side of the property, she can build whatever she wants. But when you submit to the state, there's separation distances to your neighbor, fire rating requirements.
Okay, sir.
If there's a fire inside that garage,
This will be-
there's ratings that protect the neighbor.
Yes, sir.
So when I made this diagram on Exhibit 3, I did go out there and with Mrs. Rain's help, she and I remeasured exactly what she had. And she's been very cooperative with what we're doing. And of course, she wants more beyond the setback line. I'm just here to report that what we have is 21'6", and then each span of that project is 16 foot 9 inches long. So it's two pieces. If you notice, that's the first piece, and she was going to add the second piece. So the encroachment does exist, and the only thing that we do have to protect is on the zoning code is the line of sight to the east, the pedestrians from the east line, and then also we have to be responsible for our own drainage. And the setback encroachment is 6'6".
Okay.
Another
Yes, sir.
Another
Oh, I'm sorry.
question. Go ahead. There is not any problem with line of sight on the west side that she intends to build that wall?
Well, if she stays within the setback, there's no problem. Or if it's an open carport, it's better. But for 15 feet, the max height for any obstruction is 4 feet high in the front yard.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Is there a rule on having a business in front of the,
Do you want to come up to the front, sir? Thank you.
is there a rule of having a business, which really I don't disagree, but they're using that place, it's not a carport, it's a porch. And they're doing welding and all that. As long as she goes back to the code, they can do whatever they want if they keep the noise down. With Mr. Romero, if you look at the back yard, there's rigs, I don't know how many long, about 3 of them. I don't know. Is there a rule for a business to have in front of the house? They could have done it in the back. So I don't know, what's the rule on that? But a business in front of the house.
There is no business there, Torres.
There is welding, I see it every day, I hear it every
My
day.
sons are welding students. When you go to school and they give you homework, you've got to do it somewhere.
How
You're
about the,
insisting
how about the
that they are
rigs?
running a
How about the
business.
rigs behind Mr.
Those are their
Romero?
trailers, they have personal trailers.
Yes, they are. But
What does
they,
that have to do
they
with
bring
business?
in, all sorts of, pipes and everything.
That's the pipe that they need to finish the carport.
Well, it's been there for a while.
Okay. thank
Because
you.
But
we've been on
it's-
hold for
That's
4
a
months.
business. And I don't disagree with your business with your boy, okay? As long as you follow the code.
Okay, thank you, sir.
God, I swear. Why don't you go to Luna and ask?
All
They're
right.
welders
Hey,
to-
hey, hey,
about the code.
What is the order? I'm not gonna have that.
No, I'm not, I'm sorry.
Okay,
Mr. Chairman,
yes,
I
ma'am.
have a question for Mr. Minus.
Sure.
I'm confused about something. The post is 3 feet back from the property line, and that, I assume, is a front property line. Where, and then later it's 6'6" into the setback. Trying to figure out.
No, you're looking at the exhibit, ma'am?
Yeah, I'm looking at the,
The exhibit 3, the first page, is the drawing I sent back to Mrs. Rain for her to fix.
I guess
That's
I don't
in your
have
old
that.
packet, but you didn't bring your old packet, neither did I.
I had,
You know, I have all the packets, Ben.
Exhibit 3 right here, Mrs. Lindsay?
yeah,
Commissioner Lindsay? This is a drawing I sent her back,
right.
and I said, I need the distance to the sidewalk. That's all that meant.
Uh-huh.
And I showed her the setback, and what I measured, what I saw in the field at 21.6. And what I noticed is if she's going to encroach, that hatched area that I showed there, she'll have to ask for special permission. And that's what she's doing now.
Okay, so I'm just confused about, is the property line a sidewalk or is it the street?
The one you need to really look at is the second page, ma'am.
Which I don't have.
Would that be a,
The one that says lot 3 and lot 4?
yeah, I've got that.
Let me see, can you tell me what,
Before we get it. But what about, I'm trying to add up the numbers.
Well, there's only one number, 15 feet.
Yeah, 15 feet,
And the 3 feet is something that's existing out in the field.
3 feet is what she
Is
has.
something that's existing out in the field.
Okay, doesn't she need an
Can I come to the
additional,
front, Mr. Chairman?
I certainly,
does
sir.
she need an additional 12 feet to it?
I finally found it.
This 3 feet, the edge of that panel is a property line. This post is 3 feet back,
Well, that is the property line.
right there.
So she's right on the property, so she needs to do.
Well,
what,
her
15
post isn't on the property line. She had extended those.
So tell me, would she need, if she was going to meet code, she'd have to go back 15 feet?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, that's what I'm.
Right, and so the property line is here, but she is right, her post is at 3.
Okay,
And if, you know what I'm saying, if she cuts it back 3 and splits the 6 feet and has 3, but the carport, like I'm saying, is that the 15-foot rule for line of sight is a safety issue.
Show me there what you're talking about.
The property line is here,
Uh-huh. Yes,
and the 3 foot back is she does have the post,
yes.
but the property line is here.
Okay, well, when you said
See, that's what.
remove 2 panels, remove.
No, that was only because when she fell in violation, I saw a safety issue. So I asked her for
With the
for her cooperation, that while we're, because remember, the state issued a stop work. So when they say stop, you stop everything. But because there was a safety issue, I asked her to open up the line of sight
Yeah.
for safety reasons.
Uh-huh.
And
okay.
so I told her, I called the state, because I did call the inspector, and I asked him that we needed to open up that side for safety reasons, and so he said yes.
Let me ask another question.
And she didn't go back the whole 15, but at least
No, I
she opened it
understand.
better.
But it's supposed to be 4 feet tall. Is that right?
Well, if it's a fence, you can't go higher than 4 if it's a fence. So you need line of sight all the way to 15 back.
On the side, you can go up to 6, can't you?
When you reach 15,
When you reach the 15, okay.
yeah, so you go,
Okay, now if.
you go 4, then you can
if
go
those-
6.
If those 2 panels are gonna be removed, does that mean that the roof is gonna be removed also?
Well, that's up to you all, but for the line of sight, this has to be open.
Okay,
Now, if you allow an encroachment, we need the line of sight. See what I mean?
okay.
No matter what, we need to, when she's backing up, she has to look, make sure that somebody's not coming on a bike or emergency vehicles. So we can't take the, we can't take the responsibility of the liability
Right.
Something
for a
happens.
kid getting run over,
Right.
if she can't see him, and it's
Then the
not,
city would be liable.
Then the city.
yeah, because that's the 15-foot rule on the line of sight. What did I take?
No, I said, my pen.
Oh, it was blue like the sky. Yeah, so that's, and she does say that she can gutter it. The guttering portion of the code in our code is on the side lots, well, the adjoining neighbor with Romero. But when it comes front to the sidewalk, that's a different drainage point, and if she's gonna gutter it, that's great.
Okay. Yes, sir.
All I'm asking is for her to follow the code. 15 feet. What you decide, and if you let that go by now, other people are gonna do the same thing.
Okay,
And we
sir.
don't want that.
Okay.
That's all I wanted to
We've
say.
heard that.
Okay.
Thank you for your input. Anybody else like to say anything? Any of the board members have any further questions
So she is going to have to
or
cut.
discussion points?
Talk to the 6 people, 6.5.
Yes, sir.
May I ask a question?
Yes,
Ben?
She's going to have to cut down.
Ms. Raines,
6.5 feet.
over here on the west side of that pickup
Yeah,
that's
but the top
parked there,
two.
there's a post also.
No,
Yeah.
no, no,
Are
she
you
still needs to cut the
gonna
top.
have
221,
a
6.
fence there?
To the,
I don't know if I'm gonna put up the panels, but they would be exact.
What I'm talking about is in this area here.
See,
There's
see, 'cause she has
another
one
post
there.
over here
Yeah.
past this
A
pickup.
6
Yeah,
6.5 feet.
It's in line
She's
with
going to
this
have to
post,
cut
right?
that-
Yeah.
the top.
From the sidewalk.
yeah.
Okay, so are you gonna have a fence there?
she.
No, for now,
How about
if
you
I
do
did
those?
put up, I would only put up about 3 panels, because part of that is gonna be
And
my
will she be
porch.
able
Right
to
now, I've got
do-
water
she
dripping
be
all
able to
over
do,
that's,
like,
that's
sidewalks?
coming into, like, I don't want it to ruin the foundation right up against my porch.
Yeah.
Well, I
She said she wanted to
understand.
put
This
posts
is
plus
what you want to
Yeah.
enclose right here.
Yeah, but if I
Put
did,
that-
you know how there's this pole
Move
right
that
here?
back to the
Yeah.
street,
Then I would only put up to that,
For
because
the
there's
line
a
of sight.
matching pole there.
to the front. But
Yeah, there's not
Yeah,
an
we
issue
need the line
all
of
the way
sight
out.
us.
Is that my grandson?
can she put clear plexiglass
Not
panels
this
there? No.
On the 15 feet, as long as she has line of sight. So it says 4 feet
Anybody?
max.
Mike, do you have anything you want to say?
I have a question for Mr. Minus. Do you see it feasible that she can accomplish that, what she needs to do and leave the line of sight open?
The,
The changes that you suggested?
if, yeah, if, you know, the 15-foot line of sight is to, all those panels have to be back clear, back 15 feet on the east line. Now, if she moves the post back, you guys, whatever you all decide, if you want to grant her any encroachment into a setback, it would be your call, but the line of sight has to be clear to 15 feet.
And approximately 15 feet on the left side of this picture, there is something kind of shaded like a box or,
I think that's a panel that she had leaning on there.
okay? But,
That looks like it's a piece of plywood.
okay, but she would have to remove those panels approximately back to that.
To 15 feet
Yes, sir.
from the property line.
Yeah,
From the
approximately.
property line.
Okay.
Can I ask
So we
another?
have to go with the legal terms.
Can I ask another? If she were to replace those panels with plexiglass or something that you can see through, would that solve that problem or no? She wouldn't have an all-steel building,
That would be a different variance
different, yeah,
request.
that's what I'm asking.
That's another variance request. The variance request right now is for encroaching into the setbacks.
Into the setback.
So if, for her, like if she was going to do if she was going to, whenever she submits the building permit app, if she then wants to show clear windows or something that'll keep it safe, that'll be something that we'd have to bring back to,
A totally different program.
that's a different variance.
Yeah, that's why I ask, continuing on that, along that line, let me see if I get this straight. If she does that 15-foot setback, she's halving, is it like about half of that carport?
She'd be able to come out, the 15 minus 21, she could only come out like 6'6" from her house
Yes, sir. That
to
makes it
reach
a
the
very
setback
short-
line.
A very short carport,
Right, and
No,
no?
Because from her house to the sidewalk is approximately 30 feet, okay?
Okay, it's not 21, okay, it's
No,
30
her
feet.
carport is going to be
the
21 feet 6 inches. So where she has
Right, so-
built all the way to the front to those 3 feet, she's gonna have to cut that down to meet the 21 and 6. So she's only encroaching on the 15-foot setbacks about 6 feet 6 inches. And that leaves her about 9 and a half feet, 8.5, 9.5 feet.
right, because we have to add the 3 feet to the front, so she's 24.6. If you subtract, let's say 15 from that, she'd have like a 10-foot carport.
Okay.
But I'm saying that's to the property line.
Ms. Raines, you had raised your hands.
Yes, okay, so I know you guys you keep questioning the panels on the side. Those can be removed. So, and when Mr. Minus went to look at the stuff on my house, he had even said, because we've got purling, he said we could even cut along the bottom purling and the top, and it would expose the middle part, and that would be fine also.
Yes, ma'am.
So,
I
and
did say
then,
that.
I know, like, I have some pictures here, and there's a property that I went and saw, and the carport is all the way to the street line. And, I mean, I understand, like, the variance is what I'm trying to accomplish here. So, is that what, like, would get approved here? Like, so I don't have to tear stuff down? Or am I, you know what I mean? That's where my concern is, like, now, am I gonna have to go cut steel and tear stuff down? Or is the variance that I'm applying for going to take care of what I have up now?
I believe that what you have up now is not in compliance with the code.
No, but isn't that what the variance is for? To vary from the code, is what my understanding is.
I don't think we can get around that line of sight issue.
Well, she
No,
could
the line
have,
of sight, if we take those down, that shouldn't be an issue.
And so the variance is regarding the
how far she can go beyond,
beyond,
Right now,
up
right now
where the
she's-
sidewalk is.
excuse me, Mr. Chairman, right now she's encroaching 6'6" into the, beyond the setback.
Okay?
So if you see this post right here, that's 3. So she goes back another 3, she's at 15. Well, she's better.
Well, that's what I was saying.
I'm saying that if she adds a post in between those 2 posts,
Uh-huh.
you know, you all have the authority as the P and Z to allow Mrs. Raines to encroach anything from 0 to 100.
Right.
She's asking for 6'6", but what I'm saying is that the way it's built, it's water's draining right on the sidewalk at 6'6". That's
But
all I'm
that's-
saying.
That isn't 6'6".
Yeah, it's
Jim.
pretty close, yeah.
No, because
Okay,
if
so-
it goes all the way to the sidewalk right now,
Mhm.
then it's going,
I
it's
see.
longer than 21.5 feet.
Yeah, it's at the edge of the sidewalk.
Well, if it's at
You're
the
right.
edge of the sidewalk, it's longer than 21.5 feet long, is
But
what I'm saying.
Mr. Barella was out there today and he saw where it's at. It's not at the edge of the sidewalk. And I have pictures here, I've got about, let me see.
Yeah, well, I have it there, I have it
I've got
there.
about 30 pictures of carports and other places here in town that are all the way out there.
Yeah, no,
And-
but
And that's
we-
what we're trying to
That's,
eliminate.
yeah, that's what
all
I'm
the
just
thing.
trying to say, is that what we're trying to take care of here? Because I know people keep bringing up the side panels, those can be taken off, they're just screwed on.
Mhm.
What I'm wanting to know is, am I gonna have to get over there, get a construction permit and start cutting? If a variance is allowed, what do I need to do to get that variance? That's what I thought we were here, but everybody keeps asking about that site
No, but
thing, and that's easily, all you have to do is take a screwdriver and that's taken care of.
well, your encroachment into the setback is what you're asking permission for.
Yes,
You're asking for 6'6".
yes.
Mr. Minus, your drawing is confusing to us, I think, because you've got 15 feet from the house out, and shouldn't the 15 feet be from the sidewalk back? Isn't that the 15 feet, the setback should be from the sidewalk back?
Which drawing are you looking at, ma'am?
I think it's your drawing, it's got,
The red line?
yeah.
No, that's a red line for her.
Well, anyway, 15 feet should start at the sidewalk.
This is the one that you
back.
have to look at.
Over here is what he's talking
No,
about.
I can't tell if I look at
Yeah,
that.
this is a red line for her to repair.
If it's 15 feet, if the setback is required is 15 feet, why do we keep
Come
going
forward, Mr. Chairman.
back to 6?
yes, sir, of course.
Okay, this is the actual.
Okay,
Those are the 3 that Maria is saying that exist. They do.
okay, where does 3 feet exist when this is on the edge of the property line?
No, the 3 foot is where that post is at.
Okay, we're gonna call that the edge of the building then, right, at the moment? Because that's where it's coming.
Right, but the post is 3 feet from the property line.
All right. Okay, so it's 3 feet back, and 3 from 15 is 12, correct? So it would have to come back.
Well, the encroachment, you see, it's 25'6", 15 foot, but you have to add those 3, ma'am. So it'd be 18 from the property line.
Okay, the property line 15 feet back is where the
Okay.
code requires, correct?
This is the easiest way to say it. Mrs. Raines needs 6'6". You, the P and Z, can give her 1 foot, 2 foot, up to 6'6". Of course, she wants a whole 6'6", but you all can do what you want with that 6'6".
So what they're really asking is, how much front yard, if we're gonna give her that 6.6 feet 6 inches past the 15-foot setback line requirement, front setback, is how much yard are they gonna have left over? Is what they're asking, I think.
Yeah, what would you have left over? What would, right now, is this 6'6"? Is this picture showing the 6'6"?
Yes, that's all of what she has right now.
And that's what she's requesting? Okay, how
Right,
much
but-
setback is there with this
There's no
situation?
setback there. There's no setback because, see that panel on the left? It goes all the way to the property line, but But her post is 3 foot back.
Am I dense, or does somebody want to explain? to me?
Pardon?
I don't understand the 6'6".
Well, you keep asking questions till you do.
The project, Lindsay, Ms. Lindsay,
Okay, it says right here, 12 feet into front setback. Encroachment is 12 feet into front setback, and that, I think, is your drawing.
Where,
I don't mean to pick on you, Ben.
no, I don't know, where do you say?
Yeah, the drawing is kind of confusing.
true.
Okay, that
Yeah,
one.
encroachment 12 foot into front setback.
Okay, so she wants 12 feet.
no, she wants 6'6".
What are you gonna do with the other 6?
We can give her 1 foot, 2 foot, all the way up to the 6'6".
Okay, right now, there is no setback.
Right now, she's.
Right, yeah, you're
Oh, so
absolutely,
you're
is
saying,
correct.
you're saying
you're
you would make
absolutely
her
right.
go
Now
back
you're, now
to...
you're right.
We can move her back, or we can let it stay, or we can put it back incrementally.
So take it back 8 feet now, 8'6".
I don't think we can take it back 8'6". She's just asking for 6'6". Isn't that right?
Well, the drawing, it's kind of confusing, because she is encroaching into that 15 feet setback. She's
Okay.
already encroaching right now 12 feet.
Okay,
As it is, so
As
now
it
she's
is.
asking for an additional 6.6.
No.
But she's clear 3.
So
So
if,
9 would be at the setback line, and like if you give her, if that's up to you,
no.
so
12
we
would
could
be,
give her any amount of footage, or we could approve it as it is, or we can deny it. Is that our options,
yes.
Ben?
you can go anywhere, you can stay at the 15 and give any more that you want.
Right.
But the
But
only
the
thing that...
application says she only wants 6 feet 6 inches, is what the application says. So right now, she is encroaching 12 feet into
Okay.
the setback lines.
So
So
Maria,
if you
she's
move it,
asking for 6'6",
mhm,
and we could grant the entire 6'6", or we can grant any incremental part of that 6'6". Is that correct?
that's what he says.
Ben, is that correct?
Right.
Okay.
And that's in addition to what she's already...
No. She's,
Then you're gonna have to set it back and start over.
she's gonna have, if she's, because the application says 6 feet 6 inches. So
Yes.
that means that thing, that whatever's built there will need to be cut back at least 5.5 feet.
5.5 feet.
And,
So where do you go? You grant her 6, but you cut her back 6.
Well, she's over 12.
Yeah, because she's over 12.
It's already over.
she's over 12, but the application says she only wants 6.5 feet. So that means that she will have to cut that back at least 5.5 feet to meet what she's requesting.
Okay,
And that, the 5.5 plus the 3 makes it 5, 6, 7, 8.5 feet.
okay,
So that's what the application says.
okay.
And then we just have the clear sights on the sides, and that's it.
So, I have a quick question.
Yes, ma'am.
So if it's approved for what I'm requesting, then I shouldn't have to cut anything, right?
Wrong.
I shouldn't have to take down anything.
No,
That's
Just
wrong.
finish what I started.
No, it's wrong.
you're gonna lose about 8.5 feet.
You're gonna land up losing.
No, but
8.5
why would I fill out an application where I would have to lose it? When I talked to Ben, I told him, no, I mean, I don't understand why I can't do it with what I have set up.
But because you're requesting what you already have, but you're
That's what I'm saying.
requesting 100%, there's no doubt about it. And so when you bring it before the board, you want the 100%. And then it's up to them to give what,
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. If they approve it where it's at right now,
No, if you look at the application, the application itself says
6'6",
6 foot, that she is requesting that.
beyond the 15.
No, yeah. No, not beyond the 15, within the 15-foot setback. You have to understand, it's not beyond the 15-foot setback. It is within the 15-foot setback.
can I show you a picture, a couple of pictures that I have real quick? These pictures are carports that are here in Vegas. I don't know if you want to see that. That's all the way out, okay. That's all the way out to the street. Those are
Just
higher
asking for
leg
6
there.
foot.
Yeah, she's asking,
There's
The front
3 or 4
setback
of these.
increased by 6 feet.
I know, there's one on
Yeah.
Vegas.
So that's increased by
They're
21.
all
doesn't make
over.
it
15 plus 6 is 21.
But
yeah, so, but that
If-
means
if my-
that she's going, that's,
If mine
see,
is at
this is
back,
15, this is 15, this
what
are the
I'm not
setbacks.
understanding is, why would I request something that I'm gonna have to go and cut stuff down?
She,
That's
It
what I
was
don't
probably a
understand.
misunderstanding when we did.
see,
That's why I
So was
asked
that
Mr.
15?
Minus, they sat
yeah,
in his
no,
office.
so
and I
she's
told
going to
him
go in
avoid
6
me
feet into
having
the
to
15-foot
cut
setbacks.
And tear down metal
So
and
she's
everything,
going to have
I
to
want
cut
to
it.
apply for it to.
Because she cannot go
for a
further.
pocket.
Yeah, here's a
Well,
15.
sometimes we have to
Mm-hmm.
leave well
Okay,
enough
she's
alone,
past
because it's
the
already
6,
alone to
6.
begin with.
Yeah, no, it's more,
That's true.
it's longer than 6 feet, because this is not the setbacks.
No, here's a setback.
All
15.
right.
It's right here. She's
Do
encroaching
you have
6
any
foot 6.
questions?
No. If you look at the actual
I think.
aerial from her house,
Oh, you're talking about, but that's why I need, that's why I have that
I don't
setback.
see,
see any
if you
reasons
look
why it
at,
can't be approved.
from the house,
Okay.
if you look at that, from the house, this is the house,
Well,
to the sidewalk,
she
it is
has,
about 30
Let him
to
talk.
31 feet,
Take it to an
okay?
attorney, and take it under
15-foot
advisement,
setbacks
because we don't
are
want to put the city
50.
in a-
So she
in a
wants to go,
position to where
she's going
the
15
city
feet
gets
in
sued
her
or
yard,
something like this.
and then,
6 more.
and
We
6
need to
more.
get this-
So that's 21
The
feet.
problem
So
is
that
that
leaves
I
her,
believe
that's supposed
that
to
Ms.
leave her
Raines has a
9
misunderstanding.
feet between the
She
sidewalk
doesn't
and
understand
her
that if we
house.
approve the
Right now, she only
application,
has 3.
It requires her to sit back 8.5 feet, cut 8.5 feet off that,
You know, you-
from this picture.
And I
it's
said
back.
8.5, but
No,
it's
she
Well,
can't. If she's asking
No,
for a
it's 5
variance
plus
of
the
6
3,
feet,
because that
6
post
inches.
is, yeah, you need the other 3 feet.
Yeah.
So she'll get the 6.6
Yeah.
plus 3.
Past the
It
15
ends up
foot,
being
that's from
over
her
8 foot
house,
that she has to
okay?
cut into that carport.
so she
That's
needs
what her application
the-
is for, that's why she's saying she had a misunderstanding.
the,
To apply for
the
this, the way
carport
she
should only
wrote
be
it.
21 and feet 6
But I
inches.
All right, Maria, let's hear y'all's conversation. I wanna
I'm just
hear yours
telling
and
him.
Ben's conversation.
No, it's, the thing is that Mr. Turner,
This is confusing. His drawing, the drawing that was done was confusing.
well, it's not confusing because you can't, she has 15 feet from the house.
Well, that doesn't
You
matter.
have 15 feet from the property line.
line.
You go 15. Anything that's past 15 this way is an encroachment. Okay, so that's why if you look at my drawing, I say encroachment 12 feet in front setback.
So she's
So when I
approaching 12
when I
feet.
measured in the field, the 15 feet, the building that's encroaching beyond the 15 is 12 feet of it. Because she has an extra 3 feet in the front. You see that? 12 plus 3 is 15.
But you know what, Ben, that extra 3 too, the way my house is set up is the porch goes in. So I'm losing 4 feet right there. If he measures from my front door, then I'm losing 4 feet. If he measures it from the outside of the actual walls, where the way my house is designed is it's like this on the side, but then it goes in 4 feet to where the door is. So if he's measuring from the front door instead of the actual front side of my house, that's taking 4 feet away from me.
Yeah, you and I, we went over that. That's a projection.
Or,
So
yeah,
I'm not measuring from the projection, I measured to the face of the house.
Okay.
So the rule is this, 15 foot from the property line, that's the setback. Anything within the setback is an encroachment. I measured, I came out with an encroachment of 12 feet into the front setback. Those are my notes, those are my measurements. So this is a true number. Now, if you want, she's asking for half of that, 6'6". See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, it's true
When
what you
brought up
have.
the papers where you're saying I'm asking for the 6'6", would that mean I have to move poles back?
Yes.
Yes.
A little bit, I
Because
think
remember
so.
I told you, I want it to be written where we don't have to move anything, where we're matching the uncovered part to the covered part.
I'm gonna put, I have you guys are worried about the drainage stuff and the city getting sued. I have all that stuff to put it up there, so nothing is dripping on there.
I don't think we're worried about the city getting sued over that. You can put in the gutters and you'll solve that problem. The problem is the line of sight, and that requires some movement of your walls. Or it requires something done.
We already took care of that, though. You guys are talking about the line of sight. That's just
Not in
removing
this
the
picture, not in
panels.
this picture that I see. When was this picture taken?
In April,
Pardon?
in April.
Those are already removed.
And she already removed them back, but she has to reach to 15 feet. The encroachment into the setback is 12 feet. She's asking for 6'6".
Yeah.
I mean, it's simple.
Mr. Barello was out there today and he looked at the structure and did you see how everything is set up? All I want to do is finish covering what is there. I don't want to have to cut stuff and move stuff back that's already existing. I just want it to match what is already there.
Yeah, that's what the variance process is for.
That's what I thought, but when you're,
No,
the
it's-
way you're talking about 6 feet, to me, it sounds like you want me to go and cut 6 feet off of what's already there and move it back. When we did the paperwork, I told you, I want it written so that I can finish what is started and just match my current carport. And I don't know if that's where everybody's not on the right page here, because if you're saying I'm still gonna have to go, if it's approved and cut back, that's where I'm confused. When I sat with you in your office, and that, when you went over to my house, I told you where the poles are right now, all I wanna do is just finish, just cover what is already there.
But I
And
have,
that's how I thought you had written it up.
no, Mrs. Raines, what you have is you're encroaching 12 feet into the front setback. You're asking for a variance request of 6'6".
Well, when you told me, you said the variance can get approved to where everything is, where it's at right now, and that way you just finish. That's what I thought we were doing here. And then the way you're saying now, you're only asking for a certain amount. And in my head, I'm like, well, what they're wanting me to do is go and cut 6 feet off of what's already existing.
No, you're actually ahead if you get the 6'6",
Variance.
variance.
Then you're ahead.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman?
No, she's
Yes,
not
sir.
good.
I didn't understand it too well when I saw the picture. That's why I drove by there today, this morning, or around noon sometime. Anyway, I looked at it, and what she's asking for, I don't think is unreasonable. I do not think that it's unreasonable. I mean, we don't want to see or have to take the structure down, it's already up.
Okay.
All I want to do is just cover the second side the same way the first one is, not on the side. I think that's where you guys are getting confused. We already took those panels off. I just need the top. I just need to finish the roof is what I need, without
Okay.
having to tear down anything.
Any of the board members have anything else to question or add? Then I'm going to cut off discussion from the floor. And, because I think we've heard this several times over. And I know it's confusing. I hope everybody's tried to get the confusion out of their minds. And what I would like to know now, if we can get a motion to approve or disapprove of this variance. And this variance is of 6'6". Is that right, Ben?
Yes, and
Or we
yes,
can-
front setback increased by 6 feet.
Okay.
That's what she's asking for.
Or we can approve it as it is now, or we can just say, instead of 6'6", move it back 3.5, or whatever the heck. But that is up to y'all's wishes. Now, I want to say this before we vote, or before there's a motion. We have 5 members present. And as Mike noted last time, I'm not gonna vote unless there's a tie. If it's a 2-2 tie, then I will vote. If it's obviously not a tie, then we'll just go on with the vote. Okay. Do I hear a motion one way or the other?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve it.
Okay, is there a second to that motion, that we approve this? I'll ask again. Is there a second to the motion made by Mr. Varela that we approve the variance as presented? Hearing no motion, or hearing no second, that motion dies. Do I hear any other motion? We're going to have to make a decision, folks. It's unfair to Ms. Raines and everybody concerned to keep postponing this.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion.
Yes, sir?
I'd like to make a motion that we take this under legal advisement. I don't think that we can legally decide here what we should do.
Okay.
There's too many variables in this.
Okay. There's a motion by Mr. Coca that we take this application under legal advisement because it is too complex and dangerous to make a decision now. Is there a second to that motion?
I'll second that.
Mr. Sweeney seconded that motion. Is there any discussion on this? I would like to make a comment before we all vote. I appreciate both of y'all's positions. I really do. I don't think this is that complex. And Mrs. Raines has all sort of options ahead of her. You know, however we vote, if she doesn't like the way we vote, she can freely take this to the city council
You can appeal it to city
and
council.
appeal it, and they can make a decision one way or the other. And at that point in time, then I think that if the city thinks it's too confusing, and they have their city attorney at each of the city council meetings for advisement, then that's fine. But I think it behooves us to make a decision. It's not an easy decision, I recognize that fact. But by the same token, we have a duty to make a decision. That's my opinion. So we have a motion and a second to take this under legal advisement. Will you do a roll call vote, please, ma'am?
Diane Lindsay,
Yes.
Mike Sweeney,
Yes.
Manny Varela,
No.
Joe Coca.
Yes.
Okay, that motion passes. And then that's the end of the discussion.
I'd like to make a comment before we adjourn.
Sure.
Of all the discussion that's gone on, I truly believe that Ms. Raines is under a false impression that if we were to approve this the way it reads, she, with the 6'6", she would have to make changes to the existing structure, is my feeling.
I believe
And
that's
I
correct.
believe she was thinking that she wouldn't have to with the application the way it's written.
Okay,
Okay? That's
Thank-
the only comment I have.
okay, thank you, Mike. Anybody else wants to make a comment before we?
And I'd just like to add to that, the neighbors are unhappy, or some of them are, and she would be unhappy if we approved it the way it is. So I don't think approving it is going to solve your problem.
You know, I'll comment on that. Everybody's gonna be unhappy no matter which way you decide. But without being crude, you have to shit or get off the pot. It's that damn simple, to me. To me. I mean, the buck stops here, right here, right now concerning this issue. Now, Ms. Raines has every right to appeal this to the full city council, and I'm sure if it went against her, she would do so. And that's wonderful. But we will have made a decision and a recommendation, and that's our job. No, just wait a minute. And so that's my opinion on it. I'm not going to vote, and I don't have a vote. But I wanted to say what I felt. Anybody else have any comments? And I'll get right to you. Anybody else?
I'll make a comment.
Yes, sir.
To pass it here would be to pass the buck on to the council.
That may be true.
I don't believe in passing the buck. We
I don't
should either
I don't believe in passing
make the
buck
decision
either.
here, one way or another.
That's the way I feel. Ms. Raines, one more comment, and that's it.
Well, I'd like to invite you guys to go out there and like Mr. Varela took the time to go out there and see exactly what it is. You know what I mean? I mean, the rest of you can go out there too and you can go see. I spent, I don't know how long with Mr. Minus at my house going over stuff and going into the office, you know, and we sat for over an hour writing up things and he told me, you know, when you come and do this variance, and I don't think I'm asking for much. I'm just asking to cover and match what I currently have. I'm not, I mean, they told me take the side panels down. I took them down. We took them down. You know what I mean? My neighbor whose yard it's encroaching on is Benny Romero. He has absolutely no problem with it at all. The other direct neighbors right next to me are Gary, Sanchez, and Jamie. They have no problem with it at all. If anyone would have a problem, as far as anything, you would think it would be the people right directly next to me. And that's why I'm asking you, like, come out there and look at it and see. All I want to do is cover what is to match what already is there. That's all I'm asking. If I get, there's carport, Mr. Torres was complaining, he's got a carport out there, but his car sticks 3 feet out of the carport. I mean, to me, what good is it to build a carport if it's not going to cover your whole car? None of us want to deal with hail damage or any of that. I mean, I'm sure if anybody out here wants to put up a structure to protect their vehicle, why are you going to want it to cover half the vehicle?
Okay.
I
All right.
don't.
Ms. Raines, the vote's already been taken, and the decision is to seek legal counsel. And that's what it is. And so that's the end of this matter as far as I am concerned. Is there any other matters this board would like to take up? Then I'd like to hear a motion to adjourn.
I would move that we adjourn this meeting.
All those in favor say aye.
We need a second.
Whoa, sorry, Maria, you just spoke up in time.
Who's going to second the motion to adjourn?
I'll second.
Mr. Varela.
Now you can call for a vote.
All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We adjourned.
What we'll do is we'll get all this packet together to the city attorney, see what he says. Should be done.